27. I don't know if you're familiar with that show. That was they were put together specifically for the show.
Yep.
And
a manufactured band.
Yeah, which actually had their own hits, and they managed to wrestle rights away from the people that created them and actually have their own band properly. So, yeah. So
an icon in their own right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't think we're on YouTube Live either right now. So we're just on TV at the moment.
We're on live TV? That's amazing.
We've been on, Bobby.
We are on YouTube.
Okay. Something's wrong with my phone because I can't find it on YouTube. So the people commenting, I apologize. I can't respond to your comments right now because apparently I'm not good enough with this technology thing, all right, and this newfangled YouTube thing to figure out how to play a bloody video. So, yeah.
So anyway, both the Razzies and the Oscars happened this weekend.
Yes.
And, the Razzies are the worst movie awards.
Yep.
Gotti and Holmes and Watson took away the most awards.
Why did Gotti get so much crap?
I don't know.
It was good.
I thought so.
I liked it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen The Godfather, so maybe it's like bad compared to The
Godfather.
Godfather.
No, but I've seen The Godfather. No, it's fine. It's a good movie. I don't really don't get what the. Well, okay, listen. It's not a good enough movie to be fantastic, but it's not a bad enough movie to be horrible. So I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, comparing that to Holmes and Watson seems kind of a stretch.
Yeah, who's making these calls? I'm wondering now.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a Latin phrase, but I don't know how to speak Latin. Is who guards the guards? I mean, it's like who judges the judges in this situation. I mean, so it's the same thing with like. Ironically enough, some of the films that made it into the Academy Awards are actually films people have seen, which is weird. Never happens typically, So which is pretty impressive. Like 3 of the films are actually movies that had actually been. The Oscars, Mitch?
Yeah, for the.
Yeah.
What
was it like about the host? What happened? Did just no one come out and go?
No, they actually asked Kevin Hart to do it. And apparently somebody dug up dirt on him from like 10 years ago about some LGBTQ kind of comments they think that he had made.
Yeah.
And so he ultimately resigned to avoid the controversy and so forth. So it was that they had a host signed up, but then dirt got dug up and things happened and they didn't find somebody else. I'm not sure entirely why, but.
Yeah. There was no one in the audience who wanted to like.
I'm like, really? There's like, yeah, exactly.
I know that Anne Hathaway. I don't know if you guys remember when she hosted it. It was she and I forget the name of the gentleman who hosted it with her. It was like considered a terrible Oscar ceremony. Before the ceremony opened this year, she tweeted out, no matter how bad this year is going to be, there is worse. And she posted a picture of herself on stage. I thought that was kind of classic.
That's kind of cool. So anything else interesting going on in the news, Arnie?
Well, yes. So Green Book won for Best Picture.
I really wanted to see that.
Yeah. I can't say his name.
Viggo Mortensen. Yeah,
Viggo Mortensen led that. Olivia Colman won Best Actress for The Favorite. That looked like a funny movie. Let me see. And the Green Book also won Best Supporting Actor. And
who was that? So was it Viggo that got that then?
No, that was Mahershala Ali.
Oh yeah, due to a strange name. Yeah.
I honestly, I haven't seen it yet. I'm sorry. But A Star Is Born won for Best Original Song. So Black Panther won Best Original Score, which.
And costumes.
Yeah. They won quite a bit.
Has Marvel ever won anything? Is this the first time?
I honestly don't know about the minor, but it was I think the first time that a comic book was nominated for Best Picture, so that was a big deal.
The Dark Knight comes and goes, and this gets nominated. Though Heath Ledger won the Academy Award that year.
That's
right, for his performance in that. But
right.
The Dark Knight. I mean, I hate to say it's still to me the best comic book movie. And our guest is sitting right over there, and he's got a Batman T-shirt on. So I don't know if this is going to cause controversy right now. To me, the best comic book movie is Batman Begins. I think that's that's like my favorite comic book movie. Everyone says The Dark Knight was better. No, I think as a comic book movie, I think Batman Begins felt like as realistic as a Christopher Nolan movie can go without losing its comic book type feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it did have Liam Neeson as a bad guy in it, which I really enjoyed.
As a bad guy.
And plus, it covers the beginning of how it all starts, essentially.
Right. Yeah.
So, which is always interesting.
Right, Bobby. What are your thoughts? Did you like that?
I'm disagreeing with you, 100%.
Of course you are. But did you actually like that?
I
How does Liam Neeson not convincing us? What? I mean, what are you basing this off? Did you
I
actually
just
know?
didn't
Them
think he was
there's-
a good bad guy.
We got problems, me and you. You know that, right?
How about you, Mitch? What's your favorite comic book movie? Or have you watched?
Yeah, so my favorite comic book movie, I don't say huge, but I'm a big Superman fan,
Okay.
ultimately.
Okay.
So I think that just for whatever reason, the original Superman movies were
Christopher
some of my
Reeve?
favorites. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know what it is about it. It's just, they're heartfelt, they're exciting, the technology isn't obviously like it is today.
Soundtrack.
But yeah, I don't know, just it was something about it. It was simple and fun to watch and cool. So.
Do
Well, you're
did you
both
like?
wrong. The best comic book movie was the original Batman movie.
Actually, you're right about that.
Was Adam West
The
in that?
original,
West.
yeah, the Batman.
The
Adam-
Batman. Everyone
Adam-
else comes second.
Right.
Sorry.
Adam West is the Batman. Adam West is right there, people. All right. This is our. We named a gopher after him because he's so awesome. Adam
Any
West.
movie that has Catwoman scolding the henchman for calling her Catwoman and saying, "Don't use my real name in public." I'm sorry. Lines like that.
I think I may actually have us up on YouTube right now, which may actually be.
You don't. The people in the back have us up on
Yes.
YouTube.
Terry is not doing anything at the moment. All right. I think it's either a mixture of my friggin' computer, which I'm tempted just to throw across the room right now. So
Well, please don't.
yeah.
We can't afford a new one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. So.
An interesting side note, talking about the Oscars, when Black Panther was starting to get nominated for things, I'm like, that movie was forever ago. And it actually came out February of 2018.
Yeah.
They actually cast ballots in November and December of that year. So November, December 2018 is when they cast them. So obviously all the movies were eligible that were released between those dates. But I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's a long time to wait for a nomination. I
Right?
mean,
To get, yeah.
usually forgotten.
Right.
Do you
Yeah.
think people, when they're going to make these movies, are okay? So you've been, you've been in a short film too. That's an award-winning short film, correct?
Yeah, it's part of my local news actually tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving it away.
Well, I
But,
didn't know that. I was just guessing.
Even
because-
more to the point, we have the New Hampshire Theater Awards, right?
Yeah.
And so community theater and professional theater in the area actually put up productions, and they keep those in mind. Actors, for sure, at least myself, it's like this is a role that could be considered for a potential award if it's done right and well and received well.
All right, so
and
that was
things.
my question. Do you go into it thinking I want to get an award with this, or this movie could get an award, or?
I wouldn't. Yeah, you're hopeful because it's either an iconic show or an iconic role or things like that. Really kind of help to put you in the limelight, so to speak.
Right.
I don't know if you're going into it saying we need to make an award-winning show kind of a situation,
Right.
but when people have the mentality that they're going to put their all into it and then do their best because they're going to be looked at by their peers and judged in that regards, I think there's a little element of
Because
maybe
like
we have something.
I go into making movies thinking this is going to get ignored 100%. That's how I assume.
You're getting no hardy laurels.
Yes. I am still tempted that we should design like an anti-award. This movie gets a laurel. If you get a laurel, this gets a hardy. We're going to design our hardy.
It should be a weed whacker then.
Oh, anyways, all right. Actually, we got to cut to our break. I just realized because we moved by really quick. We'll be right back. When we come back, we're gonna have our guest Eric Tambrito talking about his new book. But coming up is the trailer for his book. So enjoy it. We'll be right back with the early late night live show in just a minute. I sat back just in time as the director was saying, I'm live. Guess what? I am live. It's the Early Late Night Live Show. We're on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Channel 98, our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel, and typically our Facebook page, the Early Late Night Live Show Facebook page. But for some reason or other, it's not up tonight. But right now, we have an old friend of mine and a recent author, Eric Tamburino. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
How you been?
I've been good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. It's been a few years since we've...
A few years, yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing the math after I got your text, which I was really excited for, and then I was like, wait a minute, when's the last time I talked to him?
Yeah.
Which I think...
Pre-marriage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yours. Right.
Yes. But, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Bobby, for reminding me of that, all right? I have a lovely girlfriend, and she'd be quite unhappy right now if I was married at the moment.
Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much, yes. So
pre-girlfriend as well.
Yeah, yes.
So.
Pre-girlfriend. Okay, yes, it was pre-girlfriend,
yes.
This got to be a very confusing conversation right now. So tell us a little bit about the book.
A little bit about the book. So it's basically a short collection of fairy tales, short stories. There's 6 of them, and I wanted to do something that was a little bit written kind of like young adult literature, so it fleshed it out a little bit more than the original Brothers Grimm fairy tales, because I don't know if you guys have actually read them, but they're usually about a page long.
Yeah.
And when I first started writing, I was like, yes, 1 page, and people were like, no, make this more. But I wanted them to be a little bit more dark like that.
The Grimms are
Grimm. No, it's not the Disney version. So I wanted to do that, and I wanted to, similar to Brothers Grimm or Aesop's Fables, have kind of an underlying theme that at the end of the story you can look back and say, oh, well, that's something that I've had to deal with before, or, something that I'm relating to right now. Right. So that was my goal when I wrote it.
So these are all original fairy tales?
One is incredibly derivative of Beauty and the Beast, but it is different. But other than that, yes, they're all pretty much.
And your wife did the illustrations for it, right?
My wife did the illustrations as well.
That's
Which is surprising because you're an illustrator yourself.
Oh gosh, we're going to get into this.
No.
So yes,
I was assuming you did it because I used to do.
I used to, and.
Did I open a can of worms?
No. It's how do you say this without making it sound like you didn't want your wife to do it, which I did. Right. But years ago, so just let's put some context to this. It took about 10 years of writing on and off before I finished this.
Okay.
I don't recommend taking that road. You can do them much quicker. I aspire to be like that. So 10 years ago, I did some illustrations, and I said, oh, I could use these in my book, potentially, if I ever finish it. And then as I got closer to finishing it, after several revisions, some of the stories radically changed, and what I thought was cover art was no longer, it didn't match the story. Okay. So I said, okay, I need to go back and redo this. And my wife is a much better illustrator than me, and I said, okay, I'll have my wife do this, if she's willing. Which she was all about doing it. She was very excited. And then I told her I wanted them charcoaled. And she hates charcoal. She's fantastic. She'll tell you she's not, but she's fantastic at it. But she enjoys painting more. And she's like, why can't I paint them? And I'm like, because I don't want them painted. I don't know. Because they're black and white, and it just, I don't know. It seemed right.
Like it's a vision. So, it's a vision.
Yeah. So one of these days I should have her actually paint them and see, like, just complete creative liberty and see what she comes up with. So.
No, we don't allow photographers on the show, but painters?
No, we don't allow painters on the show.
Jeez.
Why would we have a painter on the show? Why would we have a painter on the show but not photographers?
I was a little confused by that myself.
Hang on a second, I'm talking to Bobby.
Valid point.
I can make a case for painters, Bobby. If you want to get together, we can talk about it.
Yes.
Mitch, you did one monologue. Don't get your head too big.
I really liked it. I was thinking maybe you should incorporate him more, but I don't want to throw anyone else under the bus.
What is up with the past couple guests wanting to take over the show? So, all right. So your wife illustrated. So you, 10 years to write the stories.
Again, on and off. It started when I was in high school, where I was doing it more just for therapeutic purposes, just writing. Then I decided, okay, I think I have enough material, I can actually write a book. And then it was college, and I took a year off after my first 2 years of college, so I got my associate's degree, took a year off. Under the guise of writing, truthfully, I wasted a lot of time in that year. It's very painful looking back, but why not? But by the end of that year, I had the original draft of it. Then I went back to college to get my 4-year degree, and in that time, I started to realize, I started reading more, talking to people who really did writing, and realized, okay, yes, this is not at all ready to be published. And then after I graduated, my father actually came, so it was shortly after I graduated that I got engaged. And my father came to me and said, look, it's been, 9-10 years that you've been going around saying, oh, I'm a writer, so are you or are you not? And, some people are like, he said, what to you? And it's like, no, he had a point. He said, your stories are fairy tales. You're about to get married. Your life's going to go in this very different direction if you're gearing this towards young adults. You don't want to lose those ideas. If you keep letting them fester, you're going to start putting in more adult ideas of, the struggles of growing up. So if you want to finish this one, you got to finish it. And I said, all right, fair enough. I don't have time. Oh boy, here we go again. No. I said, let me do my day job, let me get married, because planning a wedding is a joy. And by my first anniversary, I will have this finished. And so by my first anniversary, I had it finished, and unfortunately, editing took way longer than anticipated as far as having people read it, the timeline, because when you're not paying people to read something, obviously it goes, you're at the mercy of their free time. And so it was about 1 year and 6 months that I actually pulled the trigger on it, and it was out there finally, which was surreal and terrifying, because everyone's like, oh, it must be great, you have a book out there. And I'm like, yeah, I really hope that there's no mistake that anyone missed. Oh my God,
oh, don't worry, people will let you know about it.
I had one person actually come to me. I sold her a copy at one fair. She came back to me at another fair with she dog-eared every page that had a mistake on it and underlined the words so I could fix it, which was very kind of her. But at the same time, it was kind of like,
it hurts, and yet at the same time.
Yeah, I was like, thank you, but that's embarrassing.
So how long has this been out for now? A year?
I had someone at the end of a premiere come up to me and already had an idea of one of my movie premieres, already had an idea of what he thought was wrong about it. Luckily, we were good friends. Otherwise, probably the cops would have been called because I grabbed him and I just sort of slowly walked him and put him up against the wall and said, this is not the something blank blank time for you to be telling me this right now. We're still friends, surprisingly enough. We don't call the cops. Yeah.
See, that's one of the great things about the writing process, and with Amazon, I used Amazon, not plugging for them, but just that's easy to self-publish. But that you can update the manuscript.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Once you have a movie, well, there we go. With a book, it's like, oh, okay, there was an error on page 51. All right, let's go erase it.
Wow. So, my advice to people who are like in the entertainment field, and I haven't done this enough myself because this would be terrifying. All right. Okay, is this a day that you have sort of devoted to your creative work? Like whether you're going to be editing a film, or whether you're working and writing, say, oh yeah, I'm going to do this on Saturday. What I want you to do is start writing down everything you do that day and from what time to what time. And then you'll start to realize how much time you're actually not working on your production. If you want to be like really honest with yourself, and I said, I'm like terrified to do that to myself too. It's like, wow, yes. Well, I guess those 4 episodes of Parks and Recreation were necessary to watch.
You were searching for inspiration.
Yes, exactly. I was searching for inspiration. Leslie Knope is inspiring, okay? So don't look at me, Bobby. I know somewhere beyond the realm you're looking at me because you don't like Parks and Recreation, do you?
I watched it a couple times. I do like it. Just didn't get to watch it a lot.
This is weird. Okay, we don't usually like things together. All right, yes. So what would you say if you're going to give a bit of advice to someone who wants to get their book out there?
If it's already written or before it's written?
Before it's written.
Okay, before it's written, what you just said is something in that vein of write.
Yeah. Just
write. So my first book obviously took me a very long time, and I do not intend the second book to take quite as long. It's a little interesting. So I don't know. How do you write? Do you map out the story first, or do you?
Yeah, I usually do, but it's kind of a loose outline, so that in case something shifts, because sometimes I've had a character appear out of nowhere and not go away. Like
So
for the entire book.
for me,
Get rid of this guy.
Not enough whiteout in the world to get rid of this stupid character.
kill him off 6 times. He keeps coming back. But,
I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
it's fine. I would say, first of all, I would say write an outline of some type. That's how I did all of mine. That's how I did my next one. And so with the next one, I had an idea of what I wanted. It was kind of loose, but I knew here, and here, this is what needs to happen. And then you literally just write. Because I follow a lot of different writers and authors and everything on Instagram, and I read a lot of their stuff, and a lot of the time they're just joking about how you spend all this time, quote, researching, but not actually writing or looking for inspiration. And I've been there too.
Yeah.
And really, at the end of the day,
It's not much different with filmmakers. Like I would talk about, because I did warehousing for a very long time, and I said the essence of warehousing is move stuff.
Yep.
All right. The essence of warehousing is move stuff. If you're not moving things, you are not doing your job, because warehousing is about moving stuff. And the whole essence of your entire existence being in the warehouse world is about moving stuff. And if you're not, move it fast, move it slow, but move it.
Yep.
With filmmaking, it's about filming. And if you're not filming, you are not doing your job. I mean, you can practice, and rehearsals are important and everything like that. The rehearsals are not the movie. The movie is what's going on in front of the camera. If the camera's not rolling, you're not doing your job. And so, like with writers, I feel like, because I'm a script writer too, at certain times it's like, I just have to sit down, I got to write this thing. And the key to going against writer's block is to
write.
Yeah.
There's something like more, like, sometimes like the first line will come to you just like that, and you're like, oh, yes, this is perfect.
And then it dies.
Other times it's like, nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. No, oh, darn it, like, no.
Have you seen Throw Mama from the Train?
No.
Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito, and it's about a writer, and at the very beginning of the movie, he's sitting there, the night was, and he can't figure out the next word. And throughout the whole movie, he's just like pacing his room and doing, finding other things, doing the Steve McQueen throw the ball against all cat. The night was, the night was.
You're referencing a lot of really good and older movies now, which I'm very impressed with, because you were talking about, you saw the original Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I think you were talking about.
I did not until I saw your show a few weeks ago, and I was looking for something to watch, and I was on Amazon, and they happened. Here I am plugging Amazon again. No.
Right, yeah.
I know, I saw it was on there too. I was like, yes, I can
no, so I watched it the other night and thought
maybe it's on because we were talking about it on this show, and 2 of our viewers worked for Amazon. I don't know. Maybe that's what was going on.
You owe us Amazon, just saying.
Yeah.
Little rankings boost if you could.
All right, well, I think it's about time. I'm not too sure because the director hasn't talked to me yet, but I think it's almost about time for us to go to Trailer Trash. You sticking around for Trailer Trash?
I'll stick around.
All right, well, Eric, it's great having you on the show. Look forward to have it. So, key to writers is to write.
To write.
Yes. And so when we come back, we're going to have our Trailer Trash segment, and we'll talk a little bit more with our friend Eric Tamburino. And it's the Early Late Night Live Show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8, typically on Facebook, but something's going wrong, and we don't know what's going on. Damn you, Mark Zuckerberg. All right. All right. We'll be right back.
From New Hampshire, and he has a car.
Well, I don't think he's gonna let me borrow it for 4.5, 5-hour trip.
Oh, come on, Nate. Really? I think you can figure something out.
Touche. Hey, Jackie! Hey, whoa! Oh my Lord, did you see that down there? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's your respirator right there. You can see it right there. The pod sticks are hanging off. Okay, here's the thing. The net on it, it's broken. Okay, so that's really gonna letting stuff get up into your garbulator. And your garbulator is gonna just stop everything dead in your motor. Right in the middle of the highway, it'll happen. Best thing to do, take it to a mechanic. You know what? Forget it. Give me the keys, and then I'll take it to my mechanic. That's the best way to do this, because he'll do a really nice job, and he'll do it for free, because he does the same thing for my bike, because you have to really change them all every so often here. So you know what? Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, okay? Why don't you go inside, have a donut, I know you have to be at work about 9 on Monday. I'll be back by 8. It's a 3-hour trip. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it, okay?
All right. You're back. It's the Early Late Night Live Show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Channel 98 Exeter TV and our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel, and on Facebook. We just came back on Facebook, and I apologize that we're in this sort of like low-brow, very cheap version of Facebook. We don't know what is going on with the equipment right now, but I want to say a quick shout-out to Stephen Lomers in the Facebook Live room. Hello, Stephen. How are you doing? And Mike Kehoe. We shot with Stephen Lomer all weekend. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we shot
Typo Squad.
Right, which was, it was hilarious and very punny.
Very punny. Don't ever say that again.
I'm probably going to say that again.
All right. But hello to everyone in there. Ryan Dave Rogers. All right. But we're going to be moving on to our favorite section of the show, Trailer Trash. And we have a very special Trailer Trash this week because we have 2 trailers for the same series.
Yep.
Because you said one of them you hated and another one you loved. And so we're going to talk a little about that. So let's roll the first trailer for Doom Patrol, right?
Right.
So, Arnie, give us a little bit of breakdown on Doom Patrol.
Okay,
let's roll that beautiful bean footage. You in the Facebook Live room are not going to be able to see it this time because we're in low class right now, and I apologize.
So, Doom Patrol is a new DC Comics television show starring Brendan Fraser, Matt Bomer, Timothy Dalton, and Alan Tudyk. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we'll go with that.
Alan Tudyk, yeah. Even I can't pronounce that one right now.
It's about a team of traumatized and downtrodden superheroes who come together to investigate the weirdest phenomenon in existence. And it's exclusive on DC, so you have to subscribe to DC to see it. But I first saw this because I was on YouTube and it came up as a one of those commercials before the video you watch, and I saw Timothy Dalton. I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch this before I go to my video.
Big Timothy Dalton fan.
Big
played James
fan.
Bond in the 1987 movie The Living Daylights and the 1989 James Bond film License to Kill.
And
I know what you're thinking, Mitch. Yes, I know the years that they came out, and I'm a bit of a James Bond fan.
Get that.
Yeah. Yes.
He also played the villain in The Rocketeer.
He also played the villain in The Rocketeer.
He's kind of awesome
yes,
like that.
and in Hot Fuzz.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
Man, now I have to see it because Timothy Dalton's in it.
Yeah.
He also played in like a super long version of Jane Eyre. Anyway, we could go on about this.
Yes, we could go on.
But we
about
won't.
this, right. Arnie has a bit of obsession with Timothy Dalton.
Maybe.
Yes.
Definitely.
And so, yes, I was very excited about this because Brendan Fraser is also in it. And, do you like Brendan Fraser, Bobby?
Who's Timothy Dalton?
You don't know Timothy Dalton? He's an actor. Look him up. You'd like him. All right, you probably wouldn't like him. Come to think of it, but
he was also in Penny Dreadful. I don't know if any of you have seen that show. It's kind of dark and awesome.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, no idea what it's about. So.
Oh, it's basically like set in the Victorian era and all these like.
Probably should we talk about the movie that actually is coming up right now?
Doom Patrol.
Yeah. You know.
Okay, so I watched this extended trailer, and it was very, as you can probably see on TV, it's very miserable.
It is quite miserable.
And so I'm watching this, and it's like 4 minutes long, but Timothy Dalton's in it, so I watched the whole thing, and I'm thinking like, wow, this is really miserable. And I don't know where they're going with this, except like I don't know why anybody would subscribe to DC to watch this.
Right.
Even though Brendan Fraser's in it.
I never even heard of Doom Patrol. Is it like their Suicide Squad in a way, or is it their?
I don't think so.
Well, interestingly enough, I actually researched it a little bit because I've never heard of it before, and
you do way too much work to prep for the show. Just so you know, what's the matter with you? Truth
be told, I watched the trailers 2 days ago or whenever we shared them, and I barely remember them, but I do remember that I looked it up, and there was controversy as to whether or not one was Doom Patrol and Fantastic Four, where one or the other were ripoffs of each other. Oh. But they came out within 3 months of each other in their original releases in comic books.
Really?
Marvel came out first with Fantastic Four, and then like 3 months later, the Doom Patrol came out because they were so similar, but yet there was a variation. So I mean, there's still some people out there that think that enough information could have been leaked about the Fantastic Four for the authors of Doom Patrol to actually get a hold of it. But at any rate, that came back, and that was in the 70s, early 70s.
So, what did you think of the trailer?
It looked interesting in general. I mean, I'd never heard of them before, so then that in of itself makes me want to kind of see more about it.
All right. Eric, your thoughts on the trailer?
I watched it right before the show, and I thought it looked interesting. I would watch it. I'd heard of them before, as far as I'd seen the comic at comic book stores, but didn't really know anything about them. Haven't read it.
Now, judging by your torso right now, either you're a DC fan or you just happen to be one of those guys who has a Batman shirt.
Well, I'm a Batman fan.
Okay, there you go. All right.
It's a very dangerous line, the whole DC Marvel.
Yeah.
I love them both, but if I had to pick one, I'd pick Batman.
Yeah. I love how that's the answer. It's not about picking DC. It's just like, it's...
Marvel, DC, no, Batman.
Just Batman. Whichever, just Batman.
Just Batman.
But no, all of the other ones.
All right. Bobby, what did you think of the trailer?
I thought it was good. I liked it. I completely agree.
Okay.
So we're talking about the first trailer?
The first trailer, yes. The longer one.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I thought it's like, this looks interesting. This looks really depressing. Not quite sure how I feel about this. Oh, that's a cool part. This is miserable again. Oh, cool part. Miserable again. That's how I felt watching the trailer. Quick shout out to Ian Lyons in the Facebook live room. He says, hi gang. Hello Ian. Hello Donna. Hello Thaddeus. Sorry about the lowbrow Facebook. We are on our YouTube channel, so you want to go on our YouTube channel, or Late Night Live Show YouTube channel. You can see the cuts and the actual videos are playing too. So
that was kind of my feeling. I was watching it going like, it looks like it could be cool, but it's so depressing that I don't really know that I want to watch it. Like,
so we're going to do a quick rating on this because then we're going to rate the second trailer. All right? So the second trailer, for the first trailer for this, we're going to do a quick rating on it. Bobby, your rating for this trailer, please.
Just the first one.
Thumb and a half. All right. Mitch?
I'm going to thumb and a half as well.
Okay.
I'm just going to go 1.
No, you have to do something with the other hand.
Oh.
Thumb and a half negates it. So.
You could go down, too, if you want. Of course. All right.
I like that.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course you do. You're just kissing up to the guest, Bobby. It doesn't matter. All right, Arnie.
Thumb and a half.
I'm 2 in the middle for me.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's roll the other trailer for Doom Patrol. Now, when you saw this one,
this is about Doom Patrol, and it's about a team of traumatized and downtrodden heroes who come together to investigate the
Don't make me
weirdest
hit the phone out of your
phenomenon
hand. So we're doing this because we want to see. There's 2 completely different trailers for the same for the same thing, and it's different responses.
So what happened was I went to another video. I may or may not have been watching cat videos.
Okay.
But this a second trailer came up, a much shorter trailer for the Doom Patrol, and I watched it and I was like, this is a completely different feel.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys watched the shorter one. It was I think maybe 30 seconds long or something like that. But it's actually a promo spot for the episode. That was what I was able to find. And this one just had so much more life and so much more entertainment. Like I laughed and I really got.
I feel like trailers for TV shows are always way too friggin' long. When you're launching a TV show, when they do. I spent way too much time watching trailers. Okay, but trailers for TV shows, if you watch the trailers for launching TV shows, they're always like they will pretty much do the entire first episode in the trailer. And it's like, I always feel like it's way too long. So this, I feel like we're going to tell you every single bloody thing that's going to do it, no matter big or how small, and it's going to be depressing. And then we saw an individual trailer for an individual episode. And again, that looked a lot more fun though, but it was a lot shorter.
Yeah, this one, but it was actually
like 3.5 minutes shorter.
Yeah,
the variation is like 4 minutes to 30 seconds.
The tone was different. It was like the first one was like just kind of down, like how hard it is to be a superhero, and this one was kind of like, hey, we're gonna crack some jokes and maybe catch a bad guy, maybe not, who knows? Right? I'm like, I'm down with that. I mean, of course, I'm to me, Adam West still is Batman, so like I kind of have that.
Right.
A comic book show should be fun.
Right.
You know?
So, all right, Bobby, what did you think of the second trailer?
Similar.
All right.
Yeah, it was kind of, didn't do it for me.
Right.
The second one didn't do it for you?
No.
Okay.
It's hard for me not to get excited about something that has Brendan Fraser in it.
Wow.
Because I really like Brendan Fraser. I'm really glad that he's, kind of back. But then I saw that he's in this whole metal outfit, and I don't even know if he's in it the whole time. And it's like, oh man, I wanted to see Brendan Fraser, Not what could be Brendan Fraser in a tin can. Like, this is not necessarily what we want. Who we got? Sherry Lee's in the Facebook Live room. Hello, Sherry Lee. So, Mitch Fortier, this exceedingly shorter trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it had the same level of interest ultimately for me, just because of the content, the characters, and that's really what was interesting to me, the storyline and everything. I don't really remember the trailer in that great detail to comment any further than that, but yeah.
Definitely left an impression on you, didn't it?
So, I mean, it was a day or two ago, and a lot's happened since then. But.
Yeah. I feel like there's a whole other story behind it. It was a day or two ago. A lot's happened since then. It's like
Yep.
I'm okay.
There's always an undertone with me, you know that.
There's always an undertone with me. Yeah. Seriously, Mitch?
Vagueness.
Which stinks.
So, we did not plan us both saying it at the same time. Sorry. Go ahead.
I didn't actually see the second trailer, but based on the fact that it was in the 30-second range, I would say that I liked it. Because I don't know, I feel it's not just the TV shows lately. I think all trailers for movies lately, they just give so much away.
Yeah.
It's like a mini version of the movie.
Yeah. You can read down the comments on YouTube, and half the time people are like, "Okay, great, don't need to see it now." Like,
yeah, I mean that's true. You read the comments on the trailers for other films.
If the trailer's boring, I'll scroll down to see what the is this something that I should be watching? Because
I'm watching a video. The video is so boring. I prefer to read words. That is definitely. Why is that coming up on my screen right now? I just realized I have a screensaver and it says Solo, a Star Wars movie, just popped up on my screensaver. I don't know why that logo is saved on my computer. But that's an atrocity that I need to get rid of.
You got a smiling Tom Cruise.
Well, Tom
now,
Cruise.
so.
Who doesn't like Tom Cruise smiling and waving at you while riding a motorcycle? I mean, that would totally happen. I mean, I'd be happy about that. Yo, dude, that was Tom Cruise riding by on a motorcycle. So, anyways, total side note. All right, but you like this trailer, so let's go through the You said you were asking like, okay, what's the format of like the show and stuff like that. I think you really should realize there really isn't a format. It's like we sit down and we BS for a while.
I like it this way.
Yeah, all right, so do we. So it's the audience has a problem with it. Bobby, thumb and a half again.
Same.
Mitch.
I'm the same. So I'm gonna use different thumbs for different symbols.
Okay, all right.
Wow, yeah, that makes a big difference.
Extreme. All right.
Going rogue. I'm going rogue, Bobby.
All right, Eric.
I'll go with 2.
2 thumbs up. Okay,
Yeah.
it's short.
Because it's 30 seconds.
30 seconds. And I'm going to, just because it's shorter, I'm going to give it a better rating.
I love that.
So I'm going to do 1 thumb up and 1 thumb in the middle, thumb and a half for this. So this is kind of an interesting.
Because Brendan Fraser's in a tin can.
Because Brendan Fraser's in, but no, it's a better, I gave 2 thumb in the middle, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Oh, hey, another quick detail. So the Fantastic Four is actually darker. It was written much darker than it is now. The Stretch Man, whatever. I forget. But what was that?
We move on.
Yeah, so that guy. Anyways, apparently it was supposed to like hurt. He was supposed to be in a lot of pain when that happened. That kind of a situation. So which would have made things a little bit different for him as a character. It would have been completely different.
Well, yeah, because he wouldn't want to actually like help more than hey,
That's
you can save us. Yeah, I could. Like,
yeah, I'm sure there were other details that I'm forgetting, but it was supposedly a lot darker.
I like my ligaments, so I think.
Yeah. That's an interesting idea. Well, anyways, we got to start winding down the segment. Eric, that went quick.
It did.
For us, anyways. Hopefully,
it went really quick.
But not painless.
Yeah, definitely not.
So how can people find you online?
How can people find me? So I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I believe if you just type in "Where Man and Monster Meet," it should come up. And outside of that, my website is www.wheremanandmonstermeet.com, and you can email me there. You can connect to Facebook, you can connect to LinkedIn, Instagram, and you can also, there's the link to go to Amazon. That's where you can actually buy the book.
All right.
Cool. If you just want to read and not connect.
All right. Well, we'll have all that stuff. We'll have all that stuff dropped on our Facebook page soon enough. I want to thank Eric
Thank you for having me.
Great seeing you again. It's been too long. After one of us gets married or has a kid, after that next life experience, then we'll probably see each other again.
Yeah, we'll be back on the show today. So what's kids like?
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, folks, we are going to be right back with the last segment of our show, early late night live show. We'll be right back. I ran out of things to say. What's wrong with me? All right. All right. See you guys in a bit. Figure out what's going on. Some money for your nickel.
Oh, yeah.
So, thank you. I'm sorry. I just don't want to go to the desk.
No. Let me see what I got here. Oh, you get 2 dimes for a nickel?
Yes, perfect. Thank you. I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
Oh, have a good one.
Wait a minute. 2 dimes for 1 nickel?
Yeah. It's like a dollar. It's 4 quarters and a dollar. It just sounds.
Right, but I think it's 2 nickels for 1 dime.
No. Let me show you what I mean. Give me 4 quarters.
4 quarters? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go.
Yeah. See, I mean. Oh, you're right. I did.
Right, you see what I'm saying? Okay.
So I owe you a nickel.
Oh yeah, perfect. And I'll give you 2 pennies back.
Yes. Have a good one, sir.
No, wait. I still only have 2 nickels. How did that work?
Because you gave me a Canadian dime.
A Canadian dime?
Yeah.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, you did.
Well, that's American.
No. See, the head's a little different on this. Canadian.
I guess he does have kind of a receding hairline.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just keep whatever we have.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So this is like casual Terry. I'm just sort of sitting back, one leg up right here, actually 2 legs up. This is much more comfortable right now because it's been a relaxed show because we weren't on Facebook Live when we started, and now we can't get off of Facebook Live because we don't have breaks. But we're still on our YouTube channel. Let's keep it on. Early late night live show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8. But this is our new segment of the show we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, which is local news and events brought to you by Mitch Fortier.
Moi.
Moi. What did you say?
Moi.
Oh, okay.
Me.
Moi.
It's
Oh, okay.
French for me.
I thought you were making like a cow noise. Moi.
Well, I don't have an intro yet, so maybe that
Yes.
can be it. Well, so this week, I want to talk about the things that actors do when they're not acting.
Okay.
At least some of us, anyways,
Yes.
because I personally don't get enough work to pay my bills. So,
What are the chances of actors not getting enough work to pay the bills?
in New England, right?
Yeah,
And having worked in the restaurant industry, I was always in the kitchen. I never really gravitated towards the front of the house, so I don't think I have enough experience, but I could pick it up if I needed to. But
Right.
anyways, I don't want to be a waiter, so I work behind the camera.
Right.
And finding work behind the camera can be kind of tough sometimes. So I'm
Yes.
like, well, normally it's just networking, connections, people you meet, and things like that. I had the pleasure of working with you guys this weekend, which was pretty cool, doing sound.
Yes.
It's probably my 3rd time running sound on a
Right.
set, so but I think things went pretty well, right?
All right. Well, I haven't checked it out yet, but we'll find out.
We'll see. But you learn a lot as an actor working behind the camera,
Yeah.
too. So it's not about just knowing your lines and doing what somebody tells you to do and trying to do all those actorly things that you're supposed to do. But you learn about what actually goes a little bit more into the conversation about things, blocking and camera angles and things like that, which is interesting. So if you're an actor and you want to pick up more work and learn more about the industry, that's a great place to go and start. So you can actually find work for crew on newenglandfilm.com. Excuse me. newenglandfilm.com is a great place to go. Mandy.com is another place. There should be a bunch of links for these, hopefully in Facebook or YouTube.
Mandy. I've never heard of that site before.
Yeah, Mandy.com. They actually are a national organization as well.
All right. They came and they gave without taking, right?
Wait, isn't there a song called Mandy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry went to the Barry Manilow show to watch it
Yes,
live.
Why am I not surprised?
Honestly, went kind of as a joke. It was one of the best concerts I've ever been to in my life. Was going to a Barry Manilow concert. Moving on.
He is an icon too, right?
Yeah.
So, then there's 481, which is a local chapter for production crew.
Yeah, it's a local union.
Yeah,
Right,
and Massachusetts. But you don't have to be in the union to actually put your listing and your profile up there, so you can actually get work from that as well.
Yes, if you're calling up, actually about that, because I've done that before. That's called call up, you just say you want to be put on their overflow list.
Overflow list, right.
Right, and that, if you can get the work, which is the biggest question in the business, it's always hard to get to work, and you have to be willing to jump when they say jump. But that, you can get really good paying work.
Yep.
It's definitely worth it getting on that. Yeah.
$300, $400, $500 days, for 10 and 12-hour days is in that side of things is pretty
easily,
good.
yeah.
So.
You're making like $30 an hour in certain jobs. I mean, literally making like $30 an hour. So that's good.
Whether or not you get work off of it, putting your name up there, it makes sense in the overflow. Thank you for reminding me of that. And then productionhub.com is another place. It's also international as well, so you can get work elsewhere. But and to your point, you do need to be available. You can't just you can't have a full-time job unless you can take the time off, 2 days from now. But oftentimes they're calling you a week ahead of time. Are you available during these shoot dates and things like that? So that's been kind of good.
But that's the question too. That's a big thing to say that how you want to be in the industry determines a lot about what you're going to do for your day to day. So, for example, I've done a lot of the chasing the work, and which I've different now. But me and Arnie, we run a company, which to us is the priority kind of in our life. But with that, we can kind of fix our hours. So there's day work that we do day work. We're not chasing the acting gig. We're not chasing the set decorating as much and that type of stuff because Arnie has a day job. I'm on and off of day jobs at times, but but we're not chasing because our priority is actually running our business and creating the productions, this TV show and the movies and everything like that. But if you're looking to be the person, if you're not looking to run your own company, then your best bet is to try and do stuff like this. But like, I mean, me and Arnie can't, we've looked into things like that, and we can't just walk away from, because if Narrow Street Films calls, which is my business, if Narrow Street Films calls, I got to answer that first before I can answer, you know, and that, unfortunately, if you're in that bind, is not good. You have to decide whether or not you're going to be the guy working the day job so you can work your business at night, which is good, and that's a way to do it. Or you're the guy who's trying to man your own personal career, which in that case then means you really shouldn't have a day job and you should be working to chase that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that becomes your job, is chasing jobs.
Right. Yeah, and that's we both know that's a full-time job in itself, looking for the work. So
yeah, and working this weekend with you guys, I realized that I need to put more time into that at this point in time until the voiceover things start to pick up. So I started looking into stuff, and I'm like, this would be a good subject for the show.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Not just entertaining, it's also educational, the early late night live show. Said nobody ever.
So on other note is a film that I worked on. There's actually two films that I worked on that are making some local news, and one is Spin the Plate, a production that we did. It actually closed out a year or two ago, went into its first festival about a year ago. It is it's a full feature-length film written by Tom Anastasi. His wife wrote the book. And it was about a woman who went through a lot of childhood abuse from her father, and ultimately finds retribution and bringing him to court, and meets someone who helps her do that and go through that ordeal, and it's really well done. Ultimately, the cinematography is amazing, the sound and the music and the score. Some of the performances are really good, and it's won 7 or 8 awards at this point.
Right.
We thought it was dead and it was going to be over, but it just got accepted into the Golden State Film Festival in LA and Hollywood.
Oh, very cool.
And it's going to be showing at the Chinese Theater.
Whoa!
Which is a 900-seat theater.
Nice.
With a bunch of other films in this festival. So it's really, really cool. Chris Estes actually has a film also that was accepted out there. So I want to congratulate him.
Mr. Estes?
Yeah, and so yeah, this thing is just a film that keeps going. It's the Energizer film.
That's how we met too. You came on our show to talk about Spin the Plate, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a big deal back then, or we were still getting accepted to festivals. So that is going up March 24th in Hollywood. And then the other one is Steve Blackwood's film, Meet the Author, which I was a production coordinator and a second AD for. And that one has just been accepted to the Boston International Film Festival.
Very cool.
So, which is pretty neat, and that'll go up on April 13th. Renee Bergeron was on that film. And
I almost was in that film. I auditioned for a part. I didn't get it, obviously,
Oh.
but it was fun to audition for.
Cool. Yeah, and that's what you got to do. Like, if you're not looking for work, you're auditioning for work. I mean, that's kind of circling back to actor's life in New England, right? But
yeah, I mean, and Renee just worked in our film Dinner Party. Well, it didn't just work, but we just finished the first edit of that.
Yeah, which we got to see, which was really cool.
Yes, yeah, you were there Friday night. Yeah, so Bobby didn't want to come. His Bobby's like that. I think we also forgot to invite him too. So maybe that. Now I feel kind of.
I only found out about it because I'm on the show. So.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. If you were actually on the show last week, Bobby, you know.
Yeah, it was a cast showing, not a general view. So, yeah, kind of let the people know that this film actually existed, that they actually spent hours and hours working on, that it did actually exist.
But that's a big thing, though. I mean, to actually see. I mean, how many projects you've been a part of you never actually saw? I mean.
Actually, quite a few. Well, independent films and shorts, I've seen them all for one reason or another. But a lot of commercials that I do, I don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually in a commercial for How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Really?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I got a speaking part on the day. That's true. And I was told they would decide whether or not they're going to use it or not. And if I didn't get a speaking part, I would get a low amount of money. And if I did get it, they did use my actual speaking part, I would get like an astronomically more amount of money. Yes. I didn't get a lot of money.
Oh wow!
But it was pretty. It was pretty cool. They actually shot it down at the WGBH studio down there.
Neat.
You know? So that was so when you heard it came out, I'm like, oh, it came out. I never saw the ad for that.
So how did you find that particular listing of that work?
My agent got me that. Actually.
Okay.
Yes. So.
Cool. Who's your agent?
Darlene Sweeney. Darlene Sweeney. This is really bad that I almost forgot her name.
Yeah, I actually haven't heard of her. Where's she out of?
She is out of
Newburyport.
Newburyport.
Okay.
Thank you, Arnie. Thank you. This is why I keep her around. You see?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. The other side note that I had made note of, one of the links in particular, newenglandfilm.com and production.hub, they have information about actor work and things and details and articles and so forth. So there's a lot more information than just work listings.
Right. And there's Portland, Maine. Maine has another where you can get work too, because I guess Portland, Maine's becoming kind of a film hub up there. They're starting to get a lot more work, which is pretty exciting.
Well, Portland Models Group is an agency up there. I think there's probably some others, and I know they do voiceover work, and they also cast commercials and things like that. So it's not just models.
All right. Well, anyways, we got to start winding down this show because it's almost time. This has been an interesting show. Apologies for the technical issues. As a live show, we always seem to have some level of technical issues. Bigger apologies for the opening monologue. We didn't know what was going on with that. Nice job, Mitch. I know you did it completely off book.
He looks so sad now. You gotta stop picking on him.
He's not. It's the people who are sitting in that chair just get like, I just.
Yeah, I think I'm going to sit here from now on.
Yeah.
Have fun, Mitch.
So,
what's going on there?
Well,
How's this
I know.
happening?
Yes. Why is that? Well, I have all the photos stored on for stuff that I put on the Facebook screen.
That's a good-looking dude. Who's that?
Yeah, that's a sharp-looking guy. All right,
None of you can see this, by the way.
Yes, none of you guys can see this, but there's a whole bunch of photos on my computer that just go through my screensaver.
And the last 4 were of me.
Yes, so I have an obsession with you. Because you could remember your whole opening monologue, which I was pretty impressed with. I have never done that, and I will never do that. I will always be reading it from a teleprompter or my phone. Any way that I can
everyone knows that Terry has a hard time talking in front of a camera.
It's more remembering what I'm going to say. I have no clue.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I did drop a couple lines.
I wouldn't even have noticed, to be perfectly honest. So it does make you feel a little bit. But like, I have no idea what goes on up here and what comes out here is never quite sure. There's really no connection to that.
I know the feeling, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, folks. This is the Early Late Night Live Show. We are on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Channel 98. Our Facebook page, Early Late Night Live Show Facebook page. We'll figure out the technical issues next week. And on our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel. Like and follow. I want to thank Bobby Trick, the man behind the machine, for coming in today finally.
Thank you, Bobby.
Yes. Yeah. I missed having you on the show. I want to thank our guests, Eric Tamburino, Arnie, here. Thanks for coming in, Arnie. Mitch Fortier, always interesting information that you got for us out there. So for the writers out there, what you need to do is you need to write. For the filmmakers out there, what you need to do is you need to film. And for the actors out there, you're in trouble. All right. All right, folks.
Good luck.
I know they told me 1 minute in the air, but we're going to cut to the ending. Thanks. Have a good one, you guys. So now we can just talk about awkwardly.
Terry Traynor Show. There's some things about him you should know. He's the best producer that you've ever seen. He gets that way 'cause he's so rough